I'm a big fan of Billions. I have plenty to talk to you about Voyagers, but
I'm shooting it right now. Actually, I was shooting it until 10 a.m. 2 a.m. last night. So yeah.
I was just gonna see. For a lot of people don't realize, I believe you helmed the first 2 episodes and had been involved.
Yep. Yeah.
So what did you ever expect when you got involved that it was going to be the hit that it turned into?
Well, Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti. It was like, that bodes well for if it hadn't been, it would have been kind of a big disappointment. Those two guys are amazing actors, and obviously everybody else in it is great too. But as far as the two leading guys, so
yeah, I'm glad.
It's always a relief when it works. So
completely, I could spend so much more time on that, but jumping into another thing, if you could get the financing together for anything tomorrow, what would you make and why?
I can't tell you that. I actually do know what that is, but I can't because I'm trying to do it and I'm superstitious. I'm sorry to be kind of cagey about it. I'm like, I don't even tell, like, when I talk to my wife about it, I'm like, you can't tell anybody. She's like, look, I'm not going to tell anyone. So I can't tell you that, but I do have something. So
you're trying to say that you are developing like the dream project right now?
I am. Yeah. Okay.
I'm now very curious. Because I'm a fan of your movies, so I'm very curious what this is going to end up.
I would tell you offline.
I will take it just as a fan.
I will. Thank you.
Off the record.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with this film with Voyagers, how close did you actually get to getting an R rating?
Pretty close. Like we got it, and then we had to yank it back. Actually.
Can I ask was it like a few frames or what did you have to do to adjust it?
A little more than that, actually. There was quite a bit of blood and, because there were young people as well, that suddenly is a red flag. If it had been a bunch of old people slaughtering each other, that doesn't bother them. But somehow the young people, because I think there's more young people going, and there was a lot of blood in the movie that we had to pull back, actually.
Does that mean at some point you want to do like an unrated extended cut?
I would actually, yeah. I would.
So I was going to say I could drill down on that, but how long did you have a much longer cut then?
Well, I mean, you always start out with a longer cut that you work your way down to. And it's, in some cases I think the cut works now because it is so, I don't know how you felt about it, but the people that seem to dig it are like really like the tension of it at the, in the second half and are just sort of on the edge of their seat and feel kind of unnerved the whole time. And I think the pacing of the movie, the way it is that, helps that. And so I like it. I think that, as you say, there's a few other things that we pulled out, but it wasn't like we took massive sequences out that I'm missing.
Something that I really enjoy about movies like this is when you take stuff that actually could happen and might actually happen in a few years and sort of talk about it now. And so can you sort of talk about the fact that this film is not as much science fiction as it's sort of just looking at the future, and this could actually be one of the paths we go down?
Yeah, I think that's really right. I mean, I tried to make it, I wasn't interested in the fantasy of space travel or something like that. I was interested in how they would really do it. And we did a lot of research. We spent some time at SpaceX, for example, and other things as well. And, like what were these plans for, interstellar travel? How would they really work? There's all sorts of different propulsion systems. And in a way, I went with kind of the most minimal version of it, the least fantastical. And so then to do that in a more conventional, or the sort of more conventional propulsion system, it's like you've got to have weight restrictions, and which then how much food can you have and how much space can there be? And so that all helped toward the confinement, that sense of claustrophobia, just because, and minimalism. They just have nothing except the bare minimum to support life, and that they're sort of always hungry, and because everything's so rationed.
The thing that I found interesting about this movie is it could go in so many different directions. You could have spent more time on Earth, where the movie ends. Like there's so many choices. This is a big story. And I'm
Yeah.
just curious, did you ever think about this as like a series? Did you always envision it?
I have, and I've kind of written it as a series too. Like before, I wrote the screenplay a number of years ago, and then it got kind of, I was working on other things, so it was sort of sitting there, and then certain people would come by and they're like, "Oh, we love that. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that as a TV series?" So I sort of work it out as that. But you're right, all that stuff about Unearthed and things like that. I have it all. I know like Richard's whole backstory in life. I could make a movie on that before they take off. So, and we're talking about it as a series as well.
Well, you did that with Limitless.
I did, and I was like, yes, we did do that. So
Yeah, I mean, I actually like that series, and I really like that movie.
Thank you.
Before I run out of time, I believe you're partnering up with Daisy Ridley on a project.
I am, yes. We're doing a movie called The Marsh King's Daughter, which is based on a best-selling novel, and it's this kind of a beautiful thriller about this young woman that's been raised in the wilderness by her parents, and then learns that her all was not as it seemed when she was a child, and then it's Daisy's character as an adult, sort of having to confront and go sort of head to head with her father. So,
Can I ask when you're shooting that?
yeah, this summer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's going really soon.
I'm prepping it right now. Yeah, and shooting Billions at the same time.
Jesus. First world problems.
Yes.
Right. I already got to go. I'm just going to say that please share offline. Let me know what you're doing because I'm very, very curious.